What's up, what's up, what's up? Dr. Kai Dupe, episode 98, Coding While Black. It's a Thursday afternoon. I just came back from the mall and picking up a few things, and a thought hit me that I decided I wanted to share for this 98th episode. Might be somewhat controversial. Obviously, I don't care. Like I said, my goal with these recordings is not to show you my graphic skills and not to put a whole bunch of marketing splash and stuff before the videos. These videos are for a particular group of people, and they're for black folks who aspire to become software development engineers or software engineers or programmers or whatever the flavor of the month term we're using these days. When I started, it was programmer. To help you on this journey by giving you advice, information, knowledge, my recollection of my experiences as someone who's been doing this for 30 years, okay? And I repeat that in every episode because it's people out here giving advice who's never done this work. It's people out here giving this advice who are very new, and quite frankly, they're just making up things, right? They don't know what in the world they're talking about. So I want to highlight the fact that anything I talk to you about, I've lived it, I've experienced it, and I've seen it. And so here we go. Let's get right to it today. I don't know how to title this, so I'm just going to say it straight out. When you're working on these jobs, and I'm sure this applies to other areas than just tech, but it specifically applies to tech. Just because you work with somebody that's black, don't expect anything from them. Don't expect them to help you. Don't expect them to take up for you. Don't expect them to support you. If they do, great. But it's been my experience in 30 years that will not be the case. As a matter of fact, in my experience, usually they're the ones contributing to my downfall. They're the ones contributing to me not getting a raise. They're the ones contributing to me to not being defended. They're the ones bashing me and saying things about me behind my back that aren't true. This has happened to me on job after job after job, right? On the job I'm on now, it's happened. And I can think back to somewhere around 2012. I'll give an example. Around 2012, I was working at I'll just say a large oil company in Houston, Texas. I was working there as a consultant, and we were doing some mobile device strategy consulting. And I was working there with for a small startup, and I had gotten hired based on the strength of the word of of a guy that I worked with previously. So it was me, and the guy that owned the company was a white cat, and a guy that I worked with who brought me in and mentioned the opportunity to me, another white cat, right? And so I get the job, I'm working there, everything's fine, making good money, everything is fine. I get to the company, pretty much everybody there is white on the team, and maybe it was one or two brothers I can think of that were working on the team as employees. So I'm working with them as a consultant. Working there for maybe 3 months in my role as a consultant. Then the company hires a full-time person as a manager, and I end up reporting to this person. Now, this person was a black woman. She was there in less than a month, and then the next thing I know, I'm being criticized about how much money I'm making, and we don't see the value in what you're offering for this amount of money. And she was coming for this rate, and she was coming at me like she owned the oil company. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, everybody was satisfied and happy until you got here, and then you're here 2 months, and now I'm out of a job. And on top of that, I had brought in a project manager to help me with some of the work. This person's gonna be the project manager, and I was gonna be leading the technical efforts, right? But I needed some help, so I hired another white cat, right? So when she fires me, she keeps the dude that I hired. Now, I could go into the psychology of this, and I could explain this phenomenon. And I can also go on and on with other examples like this, right? I can give you examples of where people are having meetings. I'm not in the meeting. Everybody knows my credentials, my skills, my expertise. Someone will be in the meeting down talking my ability. There'll be brothers in the meeting, sisters in the meeting. They won't say, hey, what do you mean Kai's not qualified? Hey, what do you mean Kai doesn't know what you're talking about? Hey, what do you mean Kai's this, Kai's that? No, they sit there and listen as if they agree. Okay? And so, again, I'm not trying to tell you nobody black will help you, but I will also emphasize that many people that I've spoken to in this field, anecdotally, many the people that I interviewed for my research dissertation, Coding While Black, said they've never had mentors. They've never had anyone help them who was black. And I want to go a step further and say this. I have been helped by folks who weren't black. I've gotten hookups. I've gotten leads. I've gotten job opportunities. People have recommended me. I've asked black people for references that can't get them. Right? They give me the excuses and the reasons why they don't want to share their network or why they don't want to tell me how they were able. I've asked one person who's very successful, and I said, hey, man, I'm trying to do some of the same kinds of things you're trying to do. You know, how did you, and the brother said to me, I'm not going to share my secrets with you. Okay? So all I'm saying is beware. I'm not casting all black people with the same net. I'm talking about my experiences, and I'm telling you, as if you're somebody that's a young person coming into the field, because mostly you're going to be surrounded by those who aren't black. And what I'm saying to you is, don't think that because you walk down the hallway or come into a meeting or share a desk with somebody with your same complexion, that that person is on your side. Because more times than not, they are not on your side, and they're looking out for themselves. Now, me, on the other hand, I'm always coming in with the attitude to help other black people, which is why I make these videos, which is why my research was what it was, which is why I'm working on my book. But I've learned that's not everybody. Just because what's the phrase? Just because they're your kinfolk, or they're your skin folk, don't make them your kinfolk, or vice versa. Just because they're your kinfolk, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? They have the same complexion. Don't count on that. And or test them before you count on that. Before you start sharing information and telling people things, be slow to trust. And don't assume because they're black that you can trust them and that they're going to help you. Most of my help and most of the people that I can really count on throughout my career in this field, job to job to job to job, most of the people that I still know that are part of my circle from previous jobs are not black people. Because they've proven themselves to be people I couldn't trust, and I can just move on. It's happening today, and it happened 30 plus years ago when I started my career in 1987. That's it for today. This is your boy Coding While Black, Dr. Kai Dupe, episode 98. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, tell someone who you think can use this message. I got 2 episodes left, and I'm gonna peace y'all out. Later.